Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about direct marketing and how you can reach trucking companies. In the previous video called Finding Clients as a Truck Dispatcher, we have discussed the importance of marketing in general and importance of online marketing in particular. Today, we're going to talk about direct marketing. What is direct marketing? Well, direct marketing is when you are reaching out directly to your potential clients and offering them your services or products. You're not waiting for them to reach out to you. You are aggressively pursuing them with your offer. So if your goal is to get as many clients as possible, as quickly as possible, this might be the strategy for you. First, you may need to determine who your clients are. We have discussed this in a video called Who Hires Independent Truck Dispatchers. I am going to place a link for that video below, but if you have watched it already, you may remember that your primary clients are the trucking companies, primarily smaller ones. So to start your direct marketing efforts, you're going to need to get a list or a database of your potential clients. Where you can get one, we're going to discuss in the second half of this video, but for now, let's make an assumption that you have a list of 100 trucking companies. What can you do with this list? Well, various things, depending on what kind of data you have, but let's assume you have an address of the company. You can mail them a flyer, you can go visit them, but most common are usually making a phone call or sending an email. When it comes to making phone calls, it is not everyone's cup of tea. For example, for me personally, I hate making any kind of cold calling. Even so, I have really years of experience in marketing and sales. For me, picking up the phone and calling a stranger is just dreadful. Does that mean that I cannot contact my potential clients over the phone? No, that just means I'll have to get someone else to do it. How do I do that? Well, that's pretty simple. For example, you can go on a website like Fiverr, and if we're going to type in cold calling, we're going to get quite a few options for people who will gladly make phone calls on your behalf. And obviously, if you're comfortable doing it yourself, then even better, you just save yourself some money. Since I personally hate doing phone calls, I choose an entirely different strategy. What I like to do is to send out voicemails. Basically, it works like this. I record a voice message, something that I would normally leave in someone's voicemail if I got a voicemail when I'm calling someone. Then I upload phone numbers from my list into a voicemail drop provider, and this provider just sends out my message to everyone on my list. Now, it doesn't ring their phone, so they're not being disturbed. They're not angry for someone interrupting whatever it is that they're doing. They just get a voicemail and they listen to it. My voicemail says, hello, I am Roman, and, we're offering dispatch service, and this is what we do, and this is who we service, and so on and so on. This is my phone number if you are interested, if you need help with finding freight. So they basically learn about my offer. If they're interested, they can give me a call back. If not, they'll just delete the message. That's it. I didn't disturb them. And again, it's very easy. It's not intrusive. And if they like what I had to offer, they just call me back. Once my voicemails are sent, I like to follow up with an email. Okay, now these people might have heard my voicemail, but sometimes it may not be convenient to get the phone number or the web address for our website. So I just send them an email and I say, hey, I have sent you a voicemail earlier. We're offering dispatch service. This is what we offer. This is the link to our website if you'd like to learn more. This is my phone number if you have any questions. And again, I send it out. If they are interested, they will reply. If they're not, they'll just delete it and I will never hear from them again. Now, email marketing is a marketing strategy on its own. There's a lot of different things you can do when you have someone's email. You can obviously market to them. You can follow up with them. You can send them some unique offers that you have. So again, it's a very powerful tool. It's not usually an immediate result kind of thing, but again, it's a long-term strategy if you are communicating with your potential clients. Some of them may come down the road as their situation changes, and maybe they are in need of your service now when they weren't in need of your service a couple of months ago. One way or the other, you get an idea of what direct marketing is. I am reaching out to my potential clients, telling them what it is that I do, ask them to do business with me, and hopefully if they're interested, they will respond back by giving me a phone call or replying to one of my emails. Also, there are many other strategies you can implement, but I do what works best for me. You're welcome to try something else, but again, you get an idea. You're proactively reaching out to your clients to get some business. With all that being said, we also need to talk about a very important factor related to direct marketing. Direct marketing is the numbers game. I hear some people saying, well, I reached out to 10 trucking companies or 20 trucking companies and they didn't want to work with me. Well, 10 or 20 means absolutely nothing. As a matter of fact, 100 means absolutely nothing. Yes, you may, if you reached out to 100 companies, there is a reasonable chance that a few of them will respond to you and you may sign up 1 or 2 clients, but you also may not. All that means that you need to reach out to 200, 300, 500. Okay, the bigger the sample, the greater the chances of you landing more clients. It's simple as that. So you need to have a large list of contacts to market to. Now, where do you get this list? There are various databases out there. Sometimes we have students that come to us and say, well, I've heard that by purchasing this course, they're going to give me 10,000 database of 10,000 trucking companies. Well, that is fantastic, but that doesn't mean anything. The reason I am being sarcastic about that is because having a data or database is just half of the solution. Having a quality data is another half. What do I mean by quality data? Let me give you an example. I can provide you with the link to FMCSA database of motor carriers, which has probably close to 1 million entries. Okay, that means there are information for 1 million trucking companies in it. However, which companies out of this million should you reach out to? Is a company with 50 trucks a good candidate as your client? I don't think so. Maybe it's a company that handles some sort of a specialty freight. Are they your potential client? Probably not. What if they've been in business for 10 years or so? Do you think they will need your help? I personally don't think so, because if they managed for 10 years staying in business so far, I don't think they need your help finding loads. However, let me give you an alternative view. For example, I believe that most likely companies to work with me are the ones that are just starting out in this business, which means I want to target companies that just got their motor carrier authority. I also want to target companies that have less than 3 trucks, because we have discussed this. If they have a lot of trucks, there is no point for them to pay me a lot of money. They can just hire an employee who will do it for much less money. I also want them to operate with semi-trucks, because I don't want to deal with box trucks or cargo vans. It's not something that I do. So now, as you can see, I'm basically narrowing down this big database to a target audience which is more likely to respond to what I have to offer. And unfortunately, you will not be able to narrow down to your target audience with just some random database you got from somewhere. You will need basically access to a dynamic database where you can set up a search with all these criteria to narrow it down to your potential clients. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you how I set up a search in the database to get the results that I actually need, the ones that I feel going to provide me with the best conversion ratio for my marketing campaign. And yes, this database is not cheap. It's not cheap at all. But I believe that by spending money on the access to this database, I get a pretty decent return, because just picking up one client, again, will probably pay for it in a couple of months. Yes, again, I hear your objections. I don't have the money to spend. Okay, fine. You can get the free database, but you need to understand, when I narrow down mine to 100 target companies that I will reach out to, you may have to reach out to 1,000 to reach this 100 that I narrowed my database to, which means you will have to work harder if you're not willing to spend money. And if that's your situation, that's totally fine. Just be prepared to put more effort into it. Okay, guys, so as you can see, I am using TDS by Randall Reilly. That's probably the best database available on the market now. And if you are interested in getting access to this data, you can reach out to me. I might be able to even get you a little bit of a discount. But for now, let me show you how I set up the search. Okay, I am going straight here where you can narrow down by the states that you may want to target. If you want to target all the states, you can leave it blank. I prefer to basically target companies on the eastern part of the US, because on the West Coast there is a time difference, and we usually operate during certain hours, and just for me it's more convenient to work with companies on the East Coast. Okay, now that I got states set, I want to look for companies that have at least one power unit, but no more than 3 power units. Again, we discussed this. I don't need too big of a trucking company, because it's less likely that they will work with me. Then I want to target when they got their authority. So I'm going to put here, let's just say that I want to target companies that got their authority last month. So they're fairly new. So I'm going to click search, and as you will see, we got 3,332 results. That means that in those states, 3,200 companies received their authority, activated their authority, and they all have less than 3 trucks. So this is a pretty good list to work with. That means we have a pretty large sample to work with. That means there is 3,000 phone calls, or in my case, voicemails that can be sent out. That means there is a 3,000 emails that can be sent out. And again, if my conversion rate will be just 1%, we are looking at about 30 potential clients that I may pick up from just this sample. So now you just saw how you can effectively utilize a database to get a targeted list of your potential clients. But don't forget that regardless of how many people will respond to your campaign, online or direct marketing campaign, you still must have a prepared sales pitch where you deliver the messages to what you offer, where you actually convince these potential clients to sign up with you and use your service. Once you launch your campaigns, be prepared. Know what you're going to tell to the people that are going to call you or email you. When you are ready, you are more likely to convert your potential prospects into your clients. And that is the whole purpose of doing any kind of marketing campaign. And anytime you may get discouraged, I want you to remember that one client with one truck is worth $12,000 to $14,000 of annual revenue for you. So I know it's hard to make phone calls. I know it's hard to manage email campaigns. I know it's hard to build a website or run online advertising, but it is necessary if you want to build a successful business. In the near future, I am planning to record a video on how to develop your sales pitch. But until then, I hope you subscribe, and I will see you next time.